In the beginning, the universe was
simple. There was only black and white. It was a world of atoms and nothingness, a world without ideas. There was no such thing as free will. Suddenly, everything changed. A spark of consciousness exploded in a random place, and there was a sudden proliferation of color. This universe became a place where every action has consequence. That was until 7 souls were born. They were the first to be born with an independent thought, a desire for more than the world around them. However, at least at first, they couldn't understand how such a thing was possible. They were the 7 fated spirits of Earth who moved beyond color. They were the ones who changed everything. But there was one problem. When the first spirit had arisen, the others weren't yet ready to be awoken. And the rye bread was to blame.
So, you're building another Titan?
Yes, Dr. Titan. She's going to be very helpful if we ever need to fight the Shadow Sisters, or anyone else for that matter.
Please call me Nzinga Lalise.
This book is about the first spirit who started to change everything. She was a girl, but she was already an engineer. The name of this book is False Perfections, Sweet Cakes. The greatest falseness of this book is not that it will make anyone's life worse, although that is pretty much what is supposed to happen. The greatest falseness is in the title. Let me repeat that. The greatest falseness is in the title. Read the title again. This is it. This is the title of this book. False Perfections, Sweet Cakes. Get a grip on yourself, please. You read the whole name of the book twice. It means nothing. It just sounds nice. It sounds fuzzy. You are tricked into reading more of this fuzzy little book. In other words, come on. Don't you know better? No one is fooled in America into thinking this book is worth reading. Do I seem too mean? Is it okay to do my job so crudely? Do not turn away. Listen again. True Perfections, Sweet Cakes. That is what it is about. It's in this title. It can be better than True Perfections because it ends with cakes. But True Perfections is bad enough. So good? By the way, that's an adverb. false perfections, a true fiction. In this new place where
world
life began, a girl was born. She was a girl in a world that was anything but ordinary. This is the story of the wild, untamed native woman who fought for her rights, became a female savior, and later, a birthday gift to the world. Antonia Mary Tent retired from living at age of old, surrounded by family and natural causes. A librarian from birth, Antonia Mary Tent was an avid collector of dust. She had a sweetheart and married her high school. She loved having hobbies and helping her sons to be disadvantaged youths. She had no horses, but thought she did. The church gave her a choir because she sang like a bird and looked like a bird. And Antonia Mary Tent was a bird. She owed us so many poems. The funeral will be held at heaven. In lieu of flowers, send Antonia Mary Tent more life.
I can't believe I got into this situation because I ate a loaf of wheat bread. I should have listened to my doctor.
We have to fight against the bread.
You're an angel, and I'm on my own.
You're not on my own. I'm right there with you. I'm constantly by your shoulder.
I'm not in agreement with you. How do we proceed?
What do you mean? You have to tell me what to do. I need but a single mortal to complete my mission, and I will take you. Why so serious, peasant?
I work hard for my living. Little angel, what do you want?
I'm right there with you. I'm constantly by your side. This is the heart of a lost soul. You must put it in the seashell and command the soul to bring it to me. If you cannot do it, the crystal will be given to another.
Please stop! Leave me alone! Where am I?
In purgatory?
Oh yeah. My goal is to save everyone. I can't use this soul.
That is noble of you.
I will do it. Whoa, who are you?
I am someone asking many strange questions. But you can call me Antonia Mary Tent, an associate professor born in Brazil. Can you explain what's happening here?
No.
Why not?
I have no idea.
Well then, I suppose it's my turn.
What? Turn?
You know, to give you the explanation.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if you'd come around.
Tell me, what are you doing with this giant marble block on the floor?
It's a giant marble block. It's cut into 2 parts, like giant step stool.
That's impossible. No self-respecting mathematician can do it. Only by sheer luck could you start cracking such a big thing.
For being given a hint, I did. After all, I have combat experience.
I see. Where is it?
Seated where it is, directly on my very floor. Wait a minute. This isn't my floor.
This is Purgatory's floor.
Actually, I knew you would say that. I received a hint.
A hint? By who?
It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. We'll tell you when we want you to know. But you have to be chosen.
What? Chosen to do what?
Be with me.
You want me to be with you?
Yes.
Okay. I suppose I'm with you.
Operation Wasp was perfect. We were on the Titanic, sailing across the Atlantic. They had no communications, no radar. The hurricane was out of control. They said it would be the most famous landing in history. But just a few hours later, it became very clear that I was facing the dark side of the clan. The founder of Operation Wasp isn't who he said he was. He was one of those zealots.
The Zeal, aren't they that evil organization? We must stop them!
And the only one who can is Fuyu.
Fuyu? You don't mean one of the 7 spirits. She'd been born a slave on the soil of the land of the horse, but on her 4th birthday she had awakened. Fuyu helped in curing and preventing several diseases. Fuyu usually has red, purple, blue, and black hair and wears masks that resemble those of the Greek gods, with the exception of Juan, who wears the mask of the Laughing Buddha. She's able to project a force field from their mouth, and that is strong enough to knock over large trees.
She was, special. She could tell things. She was hearing the thoughts of those around her. She could feel people's souls. They were all close to her. But she had to be patient. She needed to learn, and slowly she would learn to know people, to know the things they were feeling. And after 15 years, there came a day when she knew all.
I see.
Yes, of course. It all makes sense now. The legendary 7 children born of legend. These 7 children are not part of the official 11. They could have gone their own separate way after they were born. The problem being that they are too damned old for there to be any certainty that they actually exist.
That's for you to figure out.
Just then, Starfield, Antonio Mary Tent's pet, joined the team.
How are you doing today?
Quite well. How are you?
I've been incredibly under-entertained up to this point. It doesn't have a plot, worth nothing.
It is to be expected.
How long has it been since we met?
You may have forgotten the night we first met. You had just woken up from a 2-year-long coma. You were tired, but something about the place where you were keeping caught your eye. It was full of stars, a vast black void full of them. At least, that's what we told you.
How many stars were there?
More than you can imagine. More than any of us can imagine. There are stars that are bigger than the galaxy. There are stars that are smaller than a grain of sand.
Alright, I don't want to break up the party, but we need to focus. First, we need to...
I know we've already completed Operation Wasp when we manipulated the creation of air molecules to manifest into a hurricane strong enough to lift the Titanic. But now, we're going a different route with Tent's plan. We're building both 1 and a dozen of these so-called Children of Spirits. There's no mystery like this experiment. Tent thought she had us fooled. But I now know that Fuyu was a part of her life or development.
Yes, the legend of the twins.
I still think Legend of the Twins is stupid. Call them Shadow Sisters.
Yes, sir.
When she was born, Tent and her group were barely babies. They were already in full force in training for explosions. She made our plans far more practical than we ever could have wished. Now that everything is complete, we've dropped our hands and allowed her to finish her work for us. Otacon, you'll be needed when this is done.
Just like you asked, sir. I was commanded to meet with the right people, and the right people have been found.
We have time to work and plan on this. If you have time, we'll need you. We'll be meeting on the 30th of March this year. We'll be going in on the 28th and 29th of March next year. There will be training and a debriefing to follow. We're also going to have some sort of celebration, but that is after the debrief. If you're interested, we'll need you. If you're not interested, there's not much time, but I'm sure we can do this. Please, keep in touch with us, Otacon.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be out of contact for a while, but I'll be in touch. After all, we are zealous because we are members of the Zeal. I am a proud member of the Zeal of the Lamb of God. I belong to the Lamb, and I'm the Lamb.
The majority of the people that know us will not agree with us.
The devil doesn't know because the devil is blind, and there is no sight for the devil to see. He is blind, and there are blind people.
Yes, I know how blind people work. What I want to know is, why?
Satan observed the egg pilgrim's heart short.
What are we doing here?
It wasn't me who wanted to come.
Then whose idea was it?
Mine.
I wonder what Stella thinks about the Zeal.
Hey, Stella, what do you think about the Zeal?
I'm kind of interested in it because I've been noticing that, lately, we've all been moving at the same speed. I don't want to see the results, but I can't wait to see the results. I just want to know what's going on.
If we are gonna defeat the Zeal, then we need to go to them first. They have to come to us. Let's go to them. They're strong. They can be beaten.
We need to make a line from the sea to the mountains. If they come to do combat with us, we can show them that we are not rash. We have a bunch of cash.
Tell them that we are people of reason. We can show them the idea that war should be an instrument of justice. We can show them with the power of Fuyu.
And that is why, when you take into account the size of the soldiers involved and how important the war is for the Zeal, you realize that the cost will be so high that the penalty isn't very small. Not just for the doctor who will be executed, but also for everyone else. I don't want that. I want to save everyone.
In that case, there's no time to waste. Either way, we need to connect the mountains and the sea in order to meet the Zeal. We're going to go into Michael's memories, so let's go. It's really strange that whenever I touch Michael's memories, it is always snow.
Oh, fun fact! In the 19th century, many continental settlements are said to have started in the mountains.
Actually, that's a lie.
Now that we are in the mountains, we need to connect to the sea.
First, we will defeat the tyranny of the fearful fears inside of our bodies. To free ourselves, we must go inside our bodies, get lost, and go to the vital link to life. That will free us and defeat the fears. They call this the mind.
We're not doing that. First, we are going to target their resources. We will be attacking them where they live and work and play. Second, we will attack their communications and information networks. Third, we will target their command and control. Fourth, we will stop them from carrying out their plans. We will deny their freedom of movement and access to information and technology.
And finally, we will subject them to intense pressures to make them change their behavior.
Let's go after them.
Wait, we still don't have access to Fuyu's powers. There's only one way we can be sure of victory. I will use a subatomic theory model to transform myself into a...
Way! You can't be serious!
Oh, I'm as serious as I'll ever be. I will do so by transforming my atoms. I will split carbon into carbon and oxygen atoms, my hydrogen into hydrogen and nitrogen atoms, my oxygen into nitrogen and oxygen atoms, and my hydrogen into hydrogen and fluorine atoms. In this way, I will lose no atoms and will not lose any cells. In this way, I will make myself into an AI.
That's impossible!
Sure that you've thought this through?
That's too dangerous.
I will make myself into a carbon AI.
Are you crazy?
That is the only way to keep myself. We must win.
You're crazy.
That is the only way to protect myself and everyone else.
Oh my god!
It's done.
Well, what do we do now?
I don't know. I've never messed with an AI before.
We can't just let them take us over. Let's go.
What the? What are you doing here? We're better off succeeding with this plan than we would be normally. Whatever the boy with an AI borders plan is, it doesn't matter.
Dare you talk about my pet like that? You take that back!
Talk? The Zealot prefer action, because in the case of fair talk, maybe it'll stop you too close to the moral boundary. Not to your benefit anyways.
So, we will go out and choose the morals about scaring her. Our plan, following Operation Wasp, is based on the plum pudding model, one of 7 scientific models of the atom, after I discovered this atom. But before the discovery of the atomic nucleus, the model tried to explain the nature of an atom based on its supposed building blocks. There are various reasons why such a model might have been considered.
And what might that be?
It was intended as sort of the answer to the philosophical question, what is an atom? It tried to answer the question based on what we know of atoms, but didn't explain atoms based on what we do know of atoms, and so provided an intuitive conception of an atom that fit with your intuition of an atom. In other words, it was designed to explain how atoms are, rather than to explain what atoms are.
Everybody
You
asks what an
monsters!
atom is, but nobody asks how the atom is. And thanks to Tent's help in Operation Wasp, we have discovered the missing variable that allows us to manipulate molecules freely.
It's true. During that operation, I helped discover the truth behind the plum pudding model.
But Tent, why?
Because I was jealous. Jealous of my sister, Fuyo. I couldn't stand how she thought that one way or another, every new study could only prove her the right one. That led me to make a choice. I had to destroy her. Afterwards, I felt so guilty. I used the plum pudding model to create an explosion large enough to retire from. No, I think you're wrong. This model doesn't rely on manifesting molecules based on electron quantity, but rather it relies on heat. I would know. I often work with high temperatures. This model seems to achieve a plasma temperature of 100 million degrees Celsius, the threshold required for commercial fusion energy. This is by far the highest temperature ever achieved in a spherical tokamak and by privately funded tokamak.
So that's why there is a marble block with you. If there was no record, it worked correctly. But if there were records, but the query doesn't contain the filter, it returns that there is no record. After that, the filter works. But why?
I think it has something to do with the fact that it is an... Huh?
It's too late. We will harness the energy of the sleeping children of legend and manipulate their atoms into our army. We can enslave humanity into consuming nothing but whole grain bread.
You monsters! Whole grain bread is icky!
If people just ate whole grains and stopped stuffing their faces, the argument goes they could eat less.
Exactly. Veganism is the answer to saving humanity from starvation. With whole grain bread, people will live healthy lives.
Just because they're healthy doesn't mean they're happy. Besides, all the vitamins are not there in their purest form, only the enzymes, so it doesn't taste better.
You're unhealthy.
People should be able to choose what they want to eat. You fools! It's true. A truly modern model of the atom is given by quantum mechanics. However, there was one flaw in your theory. You did not have equations that accurately describe a relativistic particle. You solved this problem by stating that, to remove all complications, it is permissible to neglect the mass of the electrons and the massive energy of the proton, i.e., to assume that the rest of their energy is negligible and that the proton is regarded as being at rest.
You're right. There were actually two legendary children who had awoken, both Wuyu and myself. But your theory is flawed. This idea was proven to be incorrect by Fuyu herself. She lent me her ultimate thesis after her passing, but you miscalculated. You never read the thesis. When she calculated the quantum mechanical theory of a proton with negligible mass, she didn't find the protons to be at rest. Instead, she found an unacceptably large number of energy eigenstates. Fuyu then solved the problem to create a productive source of energy, but you never did.
Impossible.
We'll have to find a way to beat them. Doctor, you have to stop the operation. The energy from releasing the catalyst is unsustainable. It can't be controlled.
It's over, Doctor. The experiment is a failure.
I'm not entirely sure you should be saying things like that now that you're, an AI for some reason.
So, I can only run the program at level 1 until we stop the program?
I'm afraid so, but it isn't over yet. Doctor, do you remember? What's the last thing you asked me to do?
Get someone to try to talk to the AC squad for me?
That's correct. I've never let you down before, Doctor. The AC squad found a solution. It's risky, but now it's our only shot.
I've been backed into a corner. Years of research. All for this. Very well then. We have no choice. Start the machine. Get start, you large barf, arf and arf!
Angel,
Dr.
Dr.
Titan,
Titan,
friends and
friends
opponents
and
are
opponents.
outwitted by implausible twists and weapons in this zero-sum game of life and death. With the machine started, everyone is teleported inside of the machine. Except, it was never a machine. It was a gaming console. The doctor called it a Titan.
Now what am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
But I do. Heaven and video games do not mix nicely. You know, it's cathartic to talk about your murderous fantasies in dystopian spams. You make some progress with modifiers like terrifying and long. And often enough, the deluge of psychiatric lamentations brings a wave of truth, washing away a tinge of violent nature raised by hysterical conspiracy theorists. However, exaggeration conceals anxieties. There are so many lying beneath the feverish reverie offered by strangers peddling excitement every day, and it can all be found here. Why?
Try to clear my head of the confusing, overwhelming amount of information and figure out what comes next for the two of us when I discover, much to my chagrin, that I am already making plans for the two of us to become the last two people on Earth. How do we defeat that guy? Or get his number?
I don't know.
But that's not what you said before.
I literally didn't.
That's right. You didn't.
But you just gave me an explanation.
Well, you just butchered the explanation, so... I suppose, in a way, the both of us are to blame. For not explaining it properly, and for you not answering the question.
That's enough.
Look,
Doctor.
I know I said I would stop once the operation was started, but now I don't care if I ever want to see you again. So, please don't make me. I don't want to see you anymore. I am leaving.
But what about all the programs you made with...
I don't care about any of that anymore. I just want to be happy. So please, just leave me alone, okay?
Operation has started. I have to stop this.
Don't think like that. The operation was started because of her. Hello, Karen. Lala, it was me you tried to stop.
Karen, honey.
You know what?
What are you doing?
I am the world of music, but you are the world's melody. Ever since the day Stella trapped me in this machine, that doctor promised to reunite us. But you have never seen me. Ever. Remember? The operation has started. I don't know why, but it has something to do with you. You gotta be there.
In a way, she is talking to her past self and
future
future self. But I don't recall if this is outright stated. This is where things start going downhill.
The Zealot manifests itself primarily by endless gunfire and stabbing for a self-inflicted farewell with little remorse attached. Heaven overpaints friendliness as contrite penitence, and hell contains parameters of the age-old problem, only expanded to worsen horror within bloody fights and war. All of these combine here, in this game, to damage these parameters and worsen horror within the living world. Modals of children praying grows the zeal's power to the host location. That will be a tough one to beat. It will get tougher, but there is a way. Find FOLEY.
What do you mean, Otacon? If you could only look into her mind. I know you could.
She can't see this.
She doesn't need to. Just trust me. Don't be a Karen, Otacon. There's no reason to get this emotional.
But...
I've always liked you. I've always trusted you.
But...
And always known you had something up your sleeve, Stella. No, please. Just let me leave. I was always a few steps behind you. But that was fine. You were lost. I knew you would need my help.
I need something more right now.
I need...
my help?
The Egg Pilgrim is a father that I have only ever heard about and then read about in a couple of places. He is a traveler that seeks the wisdom of the ancestors. He seeks the answers of the past and the hope of the future. He seeks the ability to give his son a good life, a life that has purpose and meaning. The Egg Pilgrim is a traveler that is out in search of the wisdom of the ancestors. He is on a quest to gain understanding of his place in the world. He wants to know why he is here, and what his purpose is, what his place is in the world. He is a man that seeks to find answers, and I am his slave.
You wish to join us?
Yes, of course. I would have used a sign, but they just kind of went out of style.
Oh, you're so weak to be any use of us. We can do anything we want. Even raise the dead if we want. You will be our puppet.
I told you we couldn't trust her. Get out of here.
am not leaving without my baby. I'm going to raise him to be a great warrior, like myself.
The dead shall never rise. I don't know how long I've spent running, but no matter what, at least I'll be able to say I gave everything I could for this world. You are the catalyst for the great catalysm, a beacon of evil, a den of darkness, and so I banish you from this place forever! I've just signed my own death warrant. I will now leave. The rest of you, please fix this situation.
Mama, don't be afraid. I'm going to be a great warrior, like you, someday.
Unsettling textures and gaming values are all around. Models of legendary children can be seen in the distance, praying to the zeal. It was truly a disturbing to host location. Fuyu's powers from beyond divinity jump when balls crack and fill.
Friendship. Intellectually sterile, athletic, liberating youngsters, or any other obstacles will no longer spine to get in my way. These days spent in this game will create a divine toy that expounds blatantly fundamental.
God of death, please grant me the power to kill these gods. God of destruction, please grant me the power to kill these gods. God of life, please grant me the power to kill these gods.
Alright, but if I grant your request, you'd better help me destroy those tentacle demons from the deep void. Hello, my dear.
Oh, you... Is that really you?
It's been a long time, Tent.
But you disappeared. I thought you were dead. So, you have been in this game all this time?
The Zeal I have been experimenting for years. We were merely the first successful generation, Tent. The Zeal found my thesis. I flew too close to the sun. We've been playing right into their hands.
No, it can't be!
The mass of 1,000 failed experiments, some who are millennia old, built this tomb with me, deep within the source code of this game.
That's okay. You're going to help us defeat them.
But know this, I can never kill the gods, so help me if I ever get a chance. When this is over, we're going to need to have a long talk. A book review that has nothing to say about the book can do nothing but amaze. And even then, a book about human beings remains a little short of the picture. The one human characteristic that astonishes and intrigues us the most is the one who eludes the brightest and the smartest of us the moment we die. What happened before life and after death? Now, let's get this show on the road.
You can't defeat me, you cold woman!
Use my power! Destroy them!
Let's get this over with.
I'm going to destroy you!
I won't let that happen.
Me neither! We both won't let this happen. If I destroy you, then I can't destroy you anymore.
Myoma blew herself up when she realized what she did. That explosion was compressed down into this block. Now take this!
You still don't understand, do you? You think you're going to defeat me? You are greatly mistaken. There is no defeat. When it comes to the gods, there is only extinction.
I will not let you force your will upon me or anyone else.
It would be wise for you to take that threat seriously, mortal.
I will not be your pawn.
There is no escape for you or anyone else. The world is coming to an end soon. It is only a matter of time before the world as you know it is extinguished.
I will not let that happen. I am going to destroy you.
So be it!
It all gets resolved
in
in the last 10 minutes or so, where we get a nice little twist. I don't know what it was with the Japanese and all the killing battles in their movies. Apparently, it's as bad in Japan as anywhere else.
Oh, you. I'm sorry I was jealous of you. I just felt all alone until Starfield showed up.
Sí, pero no me hagas llorar. Ahora estoy llorando. Fúyate, mucho fuyo.
Where there was sand, there I saw the stars. In the return to my mother. But first, Tent, come closer. I want you to know. There, I said.
I understand.
Now, where were we?
The stars.
The stars, yes. The stars can be very, very cold at night. You see, my mother once told me a story of the stars. One night, many, many years ago, the stars looked down in such a way that the planets and moons were mirrored in their reflections. It was so very beautiful that I can still remember the look of it. Now, tell me, will you look it with me?
Yes. I'll be with you.
Then follow me, please.
It's a miracle we won. They thought they had us. They were closing in, and we were reeling. I think this is the first time I'm not nervous. Just a little excited.
Thank you for your help in defeating those Zeal. The Zealot were mindful not to awaken us all, to become one whole. Our seventh finger symmetrical hearts raised, still linking us to the universe. The will of the whole spread through each generation again and again, each time coming closer than the last. A gift that lets us remove hope from the Zeal. And now soul sunlight radiates the dreamers of the next generation.
It wasn't a dream. It was an illusion. If it was a dream, I could wake up any second.
Either way, I think you need a therapist. You're obviously hearing things that aren't there.
They think I'm dangerous.
Of course, the god of all weapons could sort things out, and so she came to our aid. At this point in the game, the Zeal's heads are turning into fruits and vegetables for a predetermined period of time.
What an unspeakable horror.
This leads to a rather gruesome fight with a giant tomato demon. They are sort of cheating in that fight, but whatever floats their boat.
Dr. Titan has lost his life goal. He will gain several new ones, but it's too late. The old ones and the new ones are being brought into antagonistic conflict with one another for all of eternity.
As it should be. For all of eternity.
It's don't entrust stuff in my hands. You're making me nervous.
One's a false end of a promise. False idols follow for a while. They come and go, like everybody does. Spend my whole life dancing on my own. Seems like it may not matter. The children were hazy and daisy, but it was falls by four. So we stay focused for a while. Slow perfection creeping in your heart. If I gave your foes love that I stole from you, would you stay mine, mine forever true? The Joker without any soul. His machine is square and good as it comes. He doesn't get no purpose. Did you say I was the one? You don't really want to go with that guy. He's not your sort of guy. In the arms of your normal soul, in the arms of your staring soul, a strange feeling is everything's alright. While it seems it may not matter, please stay focused for a while. Choose our own fate, looking for a false compromise. I want your heart, I wanna suck your soul dry. Two broken-hearted souls finally learn how to live. That old feeling down in your spine, the beat of their souls now intertwines. Your attitude shows your false emotions. Never ever let me go. And with this hands, I gave you my soul, but you turned around and left me hanging there. Today is your big day. You might surely win, but lose your mind in the end.
The truth unravels. False Perfections, the series.